What's up, Bulls Nation? Merry Christmas, everybody. It's the Bloody Horns podcast here to give you today's content. If you're not following on Twitter already, it's at Horns Bloody. Throw me a follow. Let's talk hoops. Make sure you hit subscribe on this video. Let's grow this page a little bit. If you haven't checked out the new podcast yet, check that out. It's talking about DeMar DeRozan and the myths of isolation. So today, I just want to talk about Alex Caruso a little bit. There's a difference between selling high on a player like Alex Caruso and tanking. And people kind of need to understand that, because a lot of people are saying that if the Bulls trade Alex Caruso, that automatically means we go into a tank. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, the narrative that's driving me the craziest is that Alex Caruso can be the culture setter to usher us from one regime, the mid-3 Zach, DeMar, Vooch regime, into whatever the next phase of Bulls basketball looks like. And we've never seen that in the NBA before, especially not with a player of Alex Caruso's caliber. No disrespect to AC. I love AC. He's one of my favorite players in the league to watch. He works harder than anybody, but he's not the caliber of player that necessarily sets the culture for winning teams. Somebody in my mentions threw the OKC Thunder and Chris Paul out as an example, which is funny because Chris Paul is a franchise player. He was a franchise level player when he was with the Thunder, and Alex Caruso's not that caliber player. And what makes it even more funny is what the Thunder did with Chris Paul is exactly what I want the Bulls to do with Alex Caruso. The Thunder sold high on Chris Paul. Remember, when they brought him in, he didn't really have good value. He had a down year in Houston. People thought he was kind of washed. He comes to OKC. He leads the way. He gets them in the playoffs. He makes them a winning situation. And what did they do? They didn't run it back for another year. They sold high on him. They bounced him out of there, traded him to Phoenix, got a couple first-round draft picks. That's what I want the Chicago Bulls to do with Alex Caruso. Sell high on him. If there are teams out there that are offering you 2 first-round draft picks and a young player, if the Warriors are out there offering you Jonathan Kuminga and 2 first-round draft picks, you would be foolish to turn an offer like that down. I am not saying trade Alex Caruso just for the sake of trading him. There's a big difference here. I'm saying if somebody's offering you a package that has multiple picks in it and a good young piece, or even just multiple picks, honestly, so the Bulls can kind of restock that cupboard of assets, I'm saying take that. That's selling high on a guy who, yeah, he's very good at his job, but at the end of the day, he's a role player. And when people talk about his locker room value and we need him to set the culture, look around the league, man. Look around let's take a look at the last couple of champions, right? I mean, the Denver Nuggets, who was their veteran culture setter who ushered one era into another? There wasn't. Their culture setter is Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic isn't the loudest guy, but he sets the culture by being a very unselfish player and getting everybody to play the right way. Superstar, best player in the NBA. Before that, Golden State Warriors, who was their veteran guy who ushered in one era to another? It's nobody. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry sets the culture, much like Nikola Jokic. Steph isn't the loudest guy, but his style of play, his unselfishness, it sets the culture for the rest of the team. The Milwaukee Bucks. You could argue Drew Holiday came in there and set the culture, but he wasn't there before. He wasn't the guy who was there before. He was somebody you traded for. And you look, people are using teams this year like the Rockets and the Magic as an example of bringing in veteran leadership helping, but they went outside for that. They did not keep a veteran around through their quote-unquote rebuilding years. The Rockets went and got Dylan Brooks. They went and got Fred VanVleet. The Magic went and got Joe Ingles. They got veteran guys to come in and help set that locker room. So you throw it back to those Milwaukee Bucks that won the title, and they went outside to get that hard-nosed veteran, that culture setter, Drew Holiday. I mean, you go down and down the list. The Lakers, they didn't have a veteran culture setter. They just brought in LeBron James, brought in Anthony Davis. Your culture setter needs to be a franchise level player. Name me one successful team that had a quote unquote culture setter who wasn't a franchise level player, who wasn't an all-star caliber player, all NBA caliber player that had any success. You really can't. So people are just kind of overvaluing Alex Caruso a little bit. And I love AC. I'm by no means saying trade him just to trade him. I'm just saying if the value is out there and there are people who are willing to give you multiple picks for him, his value as a trade asset is far greater than his value as a quote-unquote culture setter or locker room leader. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bulls got the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow. That's a big game. We got to keep that lead on them in the standings. So I'll be back with the 5 keys to victory tomorrow. With that, Merry Christmas, guys. I appreciate all you guys. It's all love over here, Bulls Nation.